Fancy intro music, yeah! Woo! Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We've got a special treat for you today. And I guess the title kind of gives it away, but one of the followers of the YouTube channel, Theep, who just hit level 50, is building his Enterprise A, and we're going to take a look at that video here, where we're going scrolly right there. Bam! We're going to hit the build button. Go back. Yeah, right here. Why'd you go forward, Theep? Come right here. What are you doing? Stop it. Stop it. Right here. Click it. Click. Bam. All right. So the USS Enterprise A and the Hector both have actually recently received big buffs in the game, and that the game itself made them stronger. There was a lot of complaints from the higher level players, or the whales, and basically that's the only way to describe it. There's nobody free to play there yet. I will say that free to play is getting closer. We're the highest free to play player in the game right now, which I know of is Dekix, right at level 45, is getting up there, and then there's some light spinners who are already in the mid 40s and above. So it actually is getting within reach, and we're expecting 5-star to come pretty soon. I mean, it's been almost 2 years since 4-star launched in the game, where things like the Newton and the Enterprise A existed. So like there's the ISS Jelly, and that came out what, December 2019, and there's the Enterprise A, which didn't come out too much longer. So with that in mind, I expect to have an update to the game pretty soon, and if it happens how it did previously, is when they introduced the 4-star economy into the game, the 3-star economy, so your regular Enterprise, your regular Augur, got much easier to obtain. When the game first came out, it would have taken you well over a year to get to level 34, build the Enterprise, and have a sustainable ship. But now, this could be within your grasp. Look at it. Oh, I gotta admit, the lighting, it looks pretty daggum good. That's... Love that we got the actual impulse engines glowing here, not the warp nacelle. The warp nacelles are glowing, never mind. Either way, it's a nice homage to the Kelvin timeline, waiting for maybe some newer timeline or older timeline stuff to come into the game. But there it is, the Enterprise A. And I will say, from a model perspective, she does look really, really good. Maybe could use a nice new skin on there, but she looks good nonetheless. So we're going to talk about this ship in a little bit more detail, and we'll go ahead and I guess we could talk about the actual improvements the game made to this ship by increasing its hull health, shield health, and DPR, or damage per round. Simply being that too many people, as we mentioned previously, complained that it wasn't as strong as something like the Tribune, which was considered OP for a very long time, and realistically probably was. And you also see in the background here, Theep is loading it out with various ships and various officers. And you can see kind of playing out in the background as we discuss the stats. You can see, though, here on this sheet listing, though, that you got a almost double when it came to improving stats. Not a pure double, more like a 60-70%. I don't feel like busting out the calculator right now. But you did see that they significantly raised the strength of the ship. And that'll be very important for those who are making the grind, because honestly, the easiest grind in the game right now is Federation. That's the easiest one to grind out. And for those that don't know, the rep locks currently in the game are 10 million and 1 billion. So when you get to 1 billion rep, you can then go build another one. So if you wanted to get the Enterprise A and the Hector and the Tribune, you technically can. Get all 3 faction locks up, get the blueprints, and there you go. And right now, Harrison doesn't really need to go there, Theep, but we'll discuss that later. Some basic crews, you can see we're just going to put on the PvE crew right now, that the one that you've traditionally seen, Pike, Moreau, Chim, and go out with it. But you can also see that very, very low power here, only 15 million with 1 officer in. So it's going to take some leveling. But overall, it is still a very powerful ship, to the point where once it gets just a few tiers, it's one-shotting bases in the low 40s. And obviously, for those of you who are remiss enough to still be in the late 30s, like me, it can one-shot you no matter what you got in the base, even if you're using that lovable Harrison outfit that we talk about from time to time, where we'll put Pipe Moreau Harrison to get 100% shield bypass from our station guns as well as our ships, making that first round punch really hard. Even then, this thing can get so big, and this one too, but the Enterprise can get so big that even that won't stop her. And now that they've increased the stats, I mean, there was a player on my server, his name's Frosty, server 20, shout out to Frosty, who would come through my base with an Enterprise A and one-shot me before the update to the ship. there was really a time about a year ago and through this span where this ship came out that you could really argue it wasn't worth getting. It was very disappointing to have the Enterprise. And obviously that's not something that you ever want tied to anything with the name Enterprise, because Star Trek, and that's literally why we're here. But as you can see there, we were at that point where, sorry, I guess I can throw up a battle log, but you can see where ship was consistently dying to Hegtas, Tribunes, and never really pulling its own weight. Now that it can. Now, I will say my personal favorite, which we'll do in another video upcoming, is the Hegta. I love that thing, and now that it's got such a nice boost to stats as well as the Enterprise A, it's become my favorite. I'm absolutely in love with that ship. The Enterprise A is now a very good choice. You can use it well in PvP. It does have the benefit of being naturally faster than the Tribune. Not as fast as the Hegta, but it's faster than the battleships in the game, which is obviously one of the bigger breaking points for a lot of people, how slow the ships are. As you can see, Theep going through and hitting a level 51 Federation patrol here. That is an issue for a lot of players, is finding that the battleships are just so sluggish. And in territory capture, where lag is already a problem, Explorers are really the lowest tier of speed that you want to go down to. And, you take like the ISS Jelly right here. It is as slow as an auger. So, having a ship that has a little bit more speed, even if these aren't exactly fast, they're still slow, lumbering beasts, is an improvement over the game itself. And then you can see going through Crucible of War and pretty easily destroying and taking very little to no damage, which I guess you would expect, but this is a 15 million hostile versus essentially a 16 million Enterprise, and with this crew on a 51 doing quite well. Well, actually, there's the numbers there. Thank you for the log. An 18.7 versus a 16.5, and here you can see the stats with Piper Row Chin. Look at that critical there, a 1 million hit. And this is a low tier vessel. This is not a high tier Enterprise. This is the very beginning. We're starting off at the basics. Able to come out and deal that amount of damage. That's pretty frightening. There's a 1.4 million critical. Wow. That's a lot of the free-to-play watching this like, I'm screwed. You're not screwed. It's just scary. It's just scary. But you see, it's still a level 1 ship. This is before the crew officer slots, all the officer bonuses this thing gets. And a lot of you have seen some of these ships in the 30 million plus range. Obviously, extremely frightening, but able to come through and have some success. Now, in terms of crewing this, that gets really tricky based on what you have. I talk all the time, you need to max out things like Marcus, Charvenet, Kang, which can be very important here because the Enterprise A still does not have a very good ship bonus. The ship bonus is a very small boost to the overall. I mean, it's really not what it needs to be. And truthfully, the Enterprise original at level 34 is kind of overpowered with how its shield ability works, which is probably why they didn't put it on the Enterprise A. Instead of fixing that ability, what they did is they just gave it more raw stats. I don't technically agree with that because long term, I don't think it necessarily made the ship better, because when you do get into 5-star, whenever that happens, well, that crappy ship ability is still going to get you killed. Right now, it does help because it's comparable to other ships in the game, but when it long term, it might not be as good as my Hegta, which I'm still in love with, and the Tribune, which because of its firing pattern and its special ability is amazing in Armadas and will probably remain so. The Enterprise is good now, probably better in just a pure PvP brawl, but in terms of crewing, think of doing similar things that we've talked about before, where if you're going to fight Hegtas or Pillums, you're going to want to max Kang for that accuracy bonus to drop their mitigation as low as you can. If you're going to fight against Coronars, against ISS Jellyfishes, you're going to want to have Marcus on that ship. And if you're fighting against Tribunes, trying to flip that battle triangle, Charvenet is going to really help you out. Maybe a little bit of that Yuki as captain, even at level 50. Even at level 50, several different crew options that you can run, and I can throw up a couple here on the screen so that you can have some reference points. I know this is still a little ways off for a lot of players, but with the economy continually getting better, you saw the release of Biotics, you saw the release of the away teams 2.0. We've got improved systems in terms of research. We've got improved systems in terms of efficiency. This game is pushing people further into it, and while I still don't think that the 4-star area, which is where you get the ship, is necessarily easy to grind through by any means, 3-star certainly is. New players entering the game now, with the way that missions are set up, progression, ships, you can easily free to play grind to an Enterprise in 6 to 8 months, and we have a lot of people in this game who have done so. So this is now becoming something that potentially in the next few months a new player gets to within a year, maybe a little bit longer, similar to how it used to take a year to get to max level back when the game first came out. So it's exciting, even though I don't have one yet. Yep, I'm still without. Maybe one day. I am going into the 40s finally, so there's that. I do want to say a huge thank you to Theep for providing us this footage, showing us it grinding, and then of course we're going to have some PvP footage of some of these ships in another video, but I want to show you the release of the majestic Enterprise A, which was only shown at the very end of the last Star Trek Kelvin movie, so it's up for interpretation how strong it is, what it actually had ability-wise. And yeah, hopefully you can enjoy it in the game at some point in the future, or you can just comment down below how you'll never get it. Just go ahead and be the nihilistic pessimist of the day and let us know how you'll get it in 2035. All jokes aside, it is gorgeous. I am jealous, and one day she'll be mine. Also, notice how those nacelles are spinning? That's what the original series skins should be doing, Scopely. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. Y'all are amazing as always. Live long and prosper. Stay safe with those Space Cowboys. I'll catch you in the next video, which will be basically every day. Y'all are awesome. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next one. An even better outro than the intro. Yeah!